latest edition of Silicon Grapevine. My name is Nitin Dahad with EE Times, and I have today my guest, Amir Panush, who's the CEO of Ceva. Amir, you joined Ceva just, January 2023. Before we go into your journey, just tell us a little bit about what you're doing at Ceva, what are your key goals and strategy, because I think as far as I understand, Ceva is one of these hidden sort of companies in terms of their strategy. Everybody thinks of them as a DSP company, but you and I think have broadened that to a broader strategy.
Yeah, definitely. Nathan, if we think about Ceva, it's a company that has been around for a long time now, almost 25 years. Started as an IP company, so-called providing a pre-defined and designed circuit that goes into silicon, that goes into final products. And really started in the PC area. In the PC area, it was all about digital signal processing for broadband communication and some audio capabilities. And over the years, it became very well known as a DSP IP company. So for providing the IP to run digital signal processing as a processor that goes into
Yeah.
a silicon and then to embedded solution. And since I joined, I really broadened and focused the company on two major pillars of growth. One, we are the number one wireless communication leader as a company. This is not just a traditional DSP, but any wireless communication that you can think about. So for it's Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, UWB, ultra wideband, and all the legacy like 4G, 5G now going into the broader IoT and satellite communication. So for the IoT and the red cap reduced capabilities of 5G. This is a strong legacy that we have that we have broadened, and we are the number one leader in that. So we'll keep investing and having very clear focus on that. On top of that, as a complementary capabilities is all the smartness, the AI, the inference, the training, basically that goes into the edge devices. And with that, we are really empowering and enabling the smart edge, which I believe is really the biggest so-called revolution coming into the semiconductor and overall to the marketplace.
I'm hearing that from a lot of CEOs about the smart edge. I think on this show itself, I interviewed Anvic Micro as well, and they're talking about everything being smart, and not just sort of fancy applications, but real world applications. And I guess part of that is also something that Ceva is not known for is the application software. Is that right?
Yeah, that's very true. And I would say that when we look at a solution or technology that we offer to our customers, it's not just the silicon IP. It's always comes as a complete software stack on top of that. So if you really look at our, again, wireless Bluetooth, the Edge AI now, the new product that we have announced, there is the silicon IP, so-called the fundamentals. And on top of that, in order to really enable those capabilities and to enable that as part of the solution of our customers, we are providing a complete software stack from the so-called graph compiler to all the stack on top of that. So our customers can get it and really have a mature solution, fast time to market to embed it into their end device. On top of that, we even, in some cases, licensing just the software as a software IP, which again, since I joined, I said we will license that even so-called in a competing silicon IP in order to truly enable our customers. My vision for the company and to the whole organization is to be truly a partner of our customers. So of course, we want to make money and we want to be successful in the marketplace, but I believe in the long run of how to become successful. And this is really nurturing and building the relationship with our customers, giving them first what they need. And then over time, we can, of course, expand the value together.
That's actually quite interesting because I think you're trying to make 2 + 2 = 5, or trying to bring that solution to the customer, whether it's other silicon or not.
Yeah, that's very true. Even if you look at our technologies, right? What I keep telling basically to our employees as well as to our customers in the marketplace and investors is that my goal is to enable more value to our customers for a device that they go and build, which means it's not just on increasing pricing, what some other competitors are talking about, it's really increasing the value. With that value, we will be able to generate, of course, more capabilities to our customers, and with that, we will be able, of course, to charge more and create more and more content together with one so-called final product. So if we license some wireless technology, we can add other wireless technology as a combination. And on top of that, lots of complementary AI and sensing capabilities to really drive that value that we talked about.
Well, I can see a few acquisitions on the cards as well, probably but I won't go there right now. I'm sure.
That's good.
So let's
That's
go
fine.
into a little. Let's go into a little bit of your journey now. Um, how did you always like when you were young have an interest in sort of electronics? Because or did somebody inspire you, or did something inspire you? What is it that got you this bug into sort of this industry?
Yes, for me, the start was very different. I've always been so-called very strong in math and liked math. But post high school, and as I decide where I want to go undergrad, I said to myself, you know, I'm not the so-called the theoretical guy, and I like to so-called take it into practice. And what is so-called the most something that I can apply and make it a real career? I said engineering is probably the best that for me to go into. With that, I decided, it was the PC area where the internet just started. Everything became connected, wired, not wirelessly connected back then. And going into computer
That was
science,
late nineties, wasn't it? Sounds
yeah,
late
exactly.
nineties.
Late 90s,
Yeah.
it was, engineering is the new frontiers of all the innovation and things that are happening out there. Said, okay, strong in math. I want to apply it. I want so-called to have a strong career with that. Engineering is the right things for me. So I went to computer science at Technion, which is, the number one technical institution in Israel. And from there, really, my technology career started.
Yeah, I think also you were in an environment where I think in Israel it was actually very much strong and emerging that whole industry, the electronics industry. I mean, you had the 70s with Intel, and then it sort of moved on to a much wider ecosystem, didn't it?
Yeah, and that's actually how I found myself into the semiconductor industry. I will say that when I did computer science, that was so-called the first thing that I had in mind. But exactly what you said, in Israel back then, wireless communication was extremely strong field with lots of innovation. Some of that coming of course from experts from the defense, but also the whole industry. All the move to
Yeah.
enabling 2G, 3G, moving from analog to digital solution for wireless communication. Then of course the Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all the other technologies. There was a very strong role in Israel, and I found myself joining a very upcoming type of a startup called Comsys Mobile back then, that was eventually
Yeah.
acquired in Intel, and really building so-called the physical area, the modern technology, the wireless technology, to enable the transition from analog to digital. So-called back then 2G edge type of, and then move to 3G
Yeah.
communication
The
back then.
1999, 2000, that kind of time frame,
Yeah,
I remember.
right, exactly. Yeah.
So, what was your first job? Or yeah, after graduating or after college?
So it was embedded software engineer at Comsys Mobile. That was actually the first time I got introduced to Ceva technology. Again,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
I never thought 20 years later I will run Ceva. But back then, we started building a cellular modem technology. We needed DSP functionality. We looked into the different type of products out there. And one of the product that we started, we picked the Ceva. Back then it called TIC Lite, which is, again, it's a 2 or 3G DSP technology that enable wireless communication. And as an embedded software engineer, I was looking for the communication interface between the hardware and the software. Because I was a software engineer coming into the semi world, and so-called the person that can be in the middle and drive the architecture for that communication layer.
After Comnexus, it was acquired. Were you there? Obviously, you were there when it was acquired by Intel. What was your next move then?
So my next move was to Texas Instrument. So-called that move was to move to a more international, large company, start learning how to support customers. I moved from core engineering to also customer support and more so-called customer facing. And that was a great learning for me because I was engineering in hearts. Think about everything is black and white and there's only one way to go. And with customers, you learn that you need to find not to be necessarily right, but to be smart of how you drive the success with the customer. So that was great experience for me at TI at the beginning. And then at TI, I've gone through a major transition that took many years. I was there for another 3 years. They moved from being a digital company that really, so-called, they were the king of the world with their own map and wireless communication to an analog company. And it was great observation for me to see how, so-called, a very strategic, large decisions over time, while it was very challenging to many people, really drove the long-term success of the company. So I've been with TI for 6 years, and then also part of that I made a move to Silicon Valley,
Well,
California.
yeah,
I
yeah.
did my MBA over there at Berkeley, and then from there I moved into marketing and business positions.
And that's then where you sort of landed at Atheros.
Yeah, exactly. So post graduation of my MBA, I landed at Atheros. Again, going back to or not slightly, a smaller company, and they're starting strategic marketing and really building P&L was amazing experience for me, especially starting so-called a new business within the company, helping to diversify the Wi-Fi technology into automotive and really learning what does it means to drive a beachhead strategy to build a new business, which is really not anymore the big scale operation, but finding how step by step, finding the right customers, be very close to them, do everything to win the business, and then from there, basically drive more the long-term strategy of that success.
But that was up here in Santa Clara, close to where I'm sitting right now, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
That was quite an
exactly.
interesting time that time, yes.
Yeah, it was great time for Wi-Fi technology and overall wireless communication. Claros has been a great company. I enjoy very much working with amazing talent over there. And
Yeah.
great success that translated eventually to the acquisition by Qualcomm. And then I stayed with Qualcomm, and over there, actually, I took over to broaden the whole IoT product line. And this is again a different transition going from so-called a beachhead small business trying to get it off the ground to large scale operation where it's much more about how to leverage the capabilities of the large organization. Again, at Qualcomm, I enjoy
Still,
so much, and I was so fortunate to have access to just pool very large pool of talent that extremely capable with amazing platform, the Snapdragon, that really drive lots of success in the marketplace and access to customers. And it was less about how to very quickly come with the right solution. It's more about thinking the long term, building right products that can scale with the platform. Because over there, every investment is very large in dollar amount and takes a while because we leverage lots of the cross functional engineering capabilities, which means you need to make the right calls on how you define the product and build it, and then the channel and the access works for you and really enable lots of success in the marketplace. So again, very different view of how what does it mean to enable both the business and the execution.
okay. And enjoying it there, why then go to InventSense? I mean, you were, yeah, I suppose doing quite well there.
Yeah, many people asked me back then why I made the move actually. um,
Yeah.
I got to a point at Qualcomm that again I felt that I appreciate very much the organization, the capability, and the people, but to really make the corporate level decision, um, that would be challenging. And for me, the next step in my career was again stepping another step that is different from what I've been doing, which in that case was to drive corporate strategy, M&A, and be part of the executive team. And also, what really resonates for me very well and attracted me to InventSense, it was a company that had amazing technology, has done very well with MEMS, gyroscope technology in the smartphone domain, but it wasn't clear what's next for the company, how the company will diversify, go to the next level. So it was great entry point for me to come. I believe with the good mix of product and technology understanding capabilities as well as markets, it was a great accumulation of all the things that I learned previously, both the beachhead into new markets and diversification, scaling the technology, executing to help basically the executive team drive investors to the next level, which fortunately I was able to make several great acquisitions as well as a strategic move into automotive with strategic partnership, diversification into industrial as well, really diversify the company to multi technologies as well as multiple markets. And
The,
then, not surprisingly, created interest after a while, inbound interest for the company. Several companies came to basically look what and if a partnership, so-called strategic partnership or acquisition can happen. And eventually we
yeah.
landed with TK. That was also a great journey as the next step.
But that's, I mean, for you, from what you started at Comnexus, I think it's a different scale in terms of your your responsibilities, but also at the same time, what you were able to develop as skills in terms of the whole sort of strategic and management.
Yeah, very true. Again, I was very fortunate step by step to build my capabilities as a leader as well as learning. Uh, what does it means to work in a small organization, large organization, and very different type of roles that all accumulated very nicely to become a CEO of organization. So lots of learning on how to execute, focus the team, focus the organization, but also to influence the culture and have very clear mindset of what's the strategy, but really how to apply to execution that will make it successful. Within, again, each company has its own pros and cons and challenges. So it's how you highlight the strengths and, move aside or but be able as much as possible to bypass the challenges or basically the things that you are less competitive.
But I mean, when you say highlight the strength, to highlight the strengths, I think that's quite interesting because what I'm told about you is you're very much a listener, and then somebody who empowers people as well after listening.
Yeah, for me, culture is very important as a leader. And I think first culture is first all about walk the talk. It's really how you operate, it's not necessarily what you say first. And for me, how I operate, I really like to listen first and to learn. Also, I like to listen not just so-called to my direct reports, but try to go down in the organization in different places, different levels. I think no matter what level you are, you always can contribute to the discussion. But then, after you listen and you have all the dialogue as a team, at the end of the day, someone needs to make the call, and then you go and make the call. I think it also helps to drive accountability, so-called buy-in, but then with that accountability. So I don't think that takes away anything from accountability. Actually, the opposite, and that's how I like to
Cool.
drive organization, teams, and with that drive the culture. A quote that I very like related to that is that uh, a boss has a title, a leader has the people. And I truly believe in that.
So it's a good phrase. So that sort of put you into a different phase of your career because I mean you started investing, board member of various. Well, tell me a little bit about that phase of before you started at Ceva.
Yeah, I would say that phase, I got to appreciate very much what does it means to look into different assets out there and how to apply it to the long-term strategy of the company. And with that, really the value of the company. So, and key for that is really understand what the organization is strong at and what the organization will be challenged with. So if, for example, it's an organization that the culture is very, very so-called engineering-driven, innovative culture, and then you try to marry that with a very market-driven only organization, it's going to be very, very challenging to put it together. And also, I believe that M&A's most part can be very successful if they keep complementing the capabilities of the organization that you have. Now, having said, sometimes you need to change dramatically the strategy of the organization, but this is really where things are just not working well to the more in extreme way, and then you do a major pivot. But in many cases, that's not necessarily needed. It's actually the incremental capabilities that you can bring and keep building the organization.
I think on that, yeah, you talked about engineering led, marketing led. One of the criticisms I think of European tech startups is they're very engineering led and don't have that marketing focus, whereas the Europeans looking into Americans will say Americans are very marketing led. So
Boom.
I think getting that balance is quite interesting, and I guess you learned that over those, was it 5 or 6 years that you were doing various sort of investing and getting involved with other companies.
Yeah, about that period of time, and I completely agree that I think one of the things that I bring to the table, and especially at Ceva, is that balanced approach. What really drew me a lot to Ceva is really unbelievable techlo- technical capabilities and innovation. On a given day, I get so many new so-called technology initiatives and opportunities to go and do additional things. The hard thing is to say no and to focus the organization on where to invest and what to execute first. Uh, but then that it needs to be applied to really where the market is going, what the customer truly need. So instead of so-called having a technology that looking for a problem, is really finding what is the problem and then apply the solution. And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's what I bring in the middle. And I'm very fortunate to work with a great team to really keep building that towards the future.
And in those years of doing investing and advising, were there any sort of successes of note? Anything that you want to highlight?
I think, while I was at the investors, there were acquisitions of technology that became very successful in, diversifying our accessibility to new markets like automotive, industrial. There were another technology that really created a potential significant growth engine for the company. They have to increase the value of the company and the attractiveness of the company. Uh, the other things that are, in the making. So we'll wait a little bit.
What attracted you to Ceva? I mean, what were the circumstances that said, were you consulting with them? Were you advising? Or how did you land at Ceva?
So it's not that we had so-called ongoing relationship before I joined. I knew about the company quite a bit again in the domains
When you
that
started? Yeah.
how I started. And then, if you look at my career, it was wireless communication, SoC technologies, IoT, and automotive, industrial, consumer, all the things that Ceva today touches as well. So definitely lots of familiarity with the company. But what really drew me to the company is that, again, fundamentally, great capabilities of technology innovation, lots of different building blocks that I like to say is like it's a Lego that I can move things around and really drive the next frontier of growth for the company. But also, it's a company that after a while needed that type of a change with clear strategy and focus, how to execute the things that we need to focus, and then drive those towards success in the marketplace. As you mentioned, to apply that good connection between what the market needs and where the market goes, and then deliver the right technology with a clear partnership with the customer. Super critical for me is to have a partnership with our customer, a true partnership, building the long-term success.
Now, did you approach Ceva or did they approach you, or how did that materialize?
Now, in that case, they approach me, and then we start having the discussion. Uh, and then also on a personal family so-called matters that was a good fit for me because again, uh, I like my kids to basically experience different type of culture and living in different places, as well as was opportunity for me to be close to the so-called the expanded family. So to some degree, all start got aligned, and it came together very nicely.
Okay, so this is basically if you like you early part of your career, you moved out, TI to Silicon Valley, and then you wanted to see like with your children, maybe just give them a little base back in Israel, and this gave you the opportunity to do that. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah. After 17 years in the Bay Area, I said it's will be a good time for the family to experience also.
For you, culturally, is being in Israel and Silicon Valley, are there stronger similarities and differences in terms of the work culture?
There's lots of similarity, but also some differences. I would say where what is similar is that in both areas, people are very, very driven.
Yep.
They like technology, they like to innovate. And you can see it, both places are just a major hub of technology innovation and
Mm.
success in these domains. I would say what is different is that it's true that in Israel, first, communication is different, is more direct, more in your face, and less structure. While in the US is much structure by layers and overall how you communicate with each other. But again, the US has better access to the so-called the worldwide ecosystem and the customer base, and it's more market customer driven. Where in Israel,
Yes.
it's technology looking out. In the US, is slightly different. So, but
Okay.
fundamentally, what drive the success of both areas just relentless drive for success, to make a difference in the world with the technology that we all build, and to drive so-called that success and be competitive. Both regions are very very competitive. Like to see the success happening.
Yeah, I've been asked over my career many times, and also I published a magazine called The Next Silicon Valley. People will always ask me, where is the next Silicon Valley? And my answer was always Israel, but so sometimes, like you have to then expand that to sort of look at other emerging areas. But otherwise, It's very much where you're based right now, I guess.
Right. Yeah, it's very much so. Again, you can see it's per capita. Then again, the amount of innovation and new things that are coming in
Really.
Israel is mind blowing. And of course, with the Bay Area, it's the largest and most successful uh,
Yeah.
innovation in the world. Yeah.
In your career, I mean, since you started in the '90s to now, what are the biggest things you've learned, or what's your sort of key thing that you thought, well, yeah, this is a really important thing to take away in the future as I go build Ceva and other sort of ventures that you might do in the future.
First, I would say, even let's put Ceva aside for a moment. Technology innovation just doesn't stop. So,
Yeah,
in the 90s, we thought this, what will come next? And then every time there's a new thing that's coming next, now it's, of course, the whole AI and Gen AI, but and then
yeah,
there will be autonomous driving and many other things. So just relentless, non-stopping innovation. And I think, again, the engineers of that, different type of engineers, chemistries, biologists, everyone that basically contributed, that just there's endless things to go and do. And it's really about how resilient you are, how much driven you are. The sky's the limit. It's really the sky's limit no matter where you go, while you are basically dealing with innovation and technology. But if you're asking me about Ceva and the overall, I would say first semiconductor. I think these days people truly realize that this is the core, the foundation that really enables all the
yeah,
products around us and all the innovation. Um, and with so-called COVID and with the supply challenges, now even our parents and grandmas and all that, they know about semi, so it's really nice. Uh, but beyond that, for Siva, everything, the smart edge that you said, many companies talk about it. They talk about it for a reason. It's really happening. Now, how fast and how big, we can all argue about it a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's a true evolution or revolution that is happening. If we had the
mm,
devices, they all became connected, and now they all become connected and smart
intelligent. Yeah,
or
yeah,
intelligent. Yeah, exactly. And that will drive a whole new set of capabilities from the silicon, so-called the semiconductor industry, then to the software and the application on top of that. And that's why, we have different partnership and other things. It's just in every layer of the technology, there will be so much innovation and expansion. So I'm very happy that for us at Ceva, we are really in the middle of that innovation that we can power and enable our customer base, and from that the marketplace as well.
now, what do you do outside of work? I don't know. You like to travel, and I'm told you also like to dance.
Yeah, I like to dance. I like to go clubbing. It's a great it's a great way to just forget about everything, listen to good music, dance, uh, be with friends and spouse and others. So it's for me, it's a great way to relax a little bit and just do other stuff, as well as traveling, hiking. I like to be in the nature with
Yeah,
the family as well. This is a great way to just switch a little bit from your day-to-day activities.
and what kind of what's your favorite places you've been to, or something that sort of went beyond your expectations?
The South America, I've been there for several months, backpacking in the early days. Unbelievable that the sceneries and that
Yeah,
you can see there, and the different cultures. The Far East, India, Nepal, other countries over there, really great experiences. Uh, and then I've been in so many places in Europe and Asia overall, pretty much.
I think I concur with you. I mean, I spent 5 years going backwards and forwards to Brazil, where when I was working with British government, and it was very interesting in terms of the culture, but also it's in the warmth of the people, but also, as you said, amazing scenery everywhere. And I travel to India as well quite a bit, and I think I see a lot of beauty in nature as well. But we see it everywhere, actually. Yeah,
It's beauty in nature in those places. Yeah, exactly. It's beauty in nature in those places. Also, things so-called slow down a little bit,
yeah,
and you tend
yeah,
to start appreciating other things in life than your day to day. So
exactly.
I think it's a
Yeah,
really great context switch to think about other things in life that matters as well.
one of the other things that from a career point of view, did you have any sort of people who are like strong mentors? Did you feel that was an important part of your sort of journey and your growth?
Funny that you're asking. I think it helped me a lot in my career. But honestly speaking, I never had a mentor, so-called someone that was my mentor. I can tell you a story. Like a few years back, actually, there was still someone that I appreciate so much in terms of learning from that person and so on. So I reached out to the person and said, how about you will mentor me? We'll meet every month or every other month. And politely, he completely rejected my my request. And and over time, I actually learned that by that he didn't mean not to mentor me. By that, he actually meant that instead of us just so-called putting a time to talk about things, it's really he will be the leader. I will work with him and work for him. And through that learning, if I'm a person that can really learn and want to learn, that will be the opportunity for me as part of his mentoring. And that worked very well. There were several leaders that I really learned a lot from them. And even to these days, there are so-called quote or sentences that they told me and talked with me about that resonates with me and I would never forget. You know, one of them, for example, told me, as a CEO, as a leader, uh, when your team and everyone is so excited and everything goes so well, and the stock goes up and everything is clicking, actually be paranoid. Then just think what's coming because eventually things will change. And the
Exactly.
opposite, everyone is so depressed and things are so tough and all that. You needs to be the
Yeah.
cheerleader. You show them the light at the end of the tunnel and really drive the belief in the team and the future success. So just this is just one example, but there are just different type of things that I learned from my bosses, leaders that I observe and all that. And I'm very fortunate I was able to basically accumulate all that and learn from other people. I'm a true believer in listening and learning from other people.
Yeah, I think that comes out from you. Um, so finally, just tell me, you have children. What would you tell a young Amir, or tell your children? What's the key sort of advice you would give to them?
Definitely, I would say as you start your career, listen, learn, but also be very persistent of what you want to achieve. And while you're doing that, be agile because things will change, things will be challenging here and there, and there is no right or wrong how to build your career. At the end of the day, it's a journey, it's marathon, it's not a sprint, and have fun on the way as well. So because it's a long marathon, uh, that's what I would advise my kids or anyone else that start their career. It's that they do things that you like and you're strong at, but be resilient and know what you want to achieve and believe in yourself. If people believe in themselves and they drive hard, the sky's the limit.
Well, Amir, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nitin. Pleasure talking with you.